call the meeting to order. May I have a motion to do that?
A motion.
Perfect. And a second?
A second.
Thank you very much. Good. So the meeting is called to order. We definitely have a quorum, thanks to everyone being here tonight, which is great. And we do need to, Kelly, you do an exceptional job on those minutes. I can't thank you enough, because it's, you know, as Deb and I know, minutes
Tedious.
are a royal pain. But I did, and I really didn't want to print some, but I know most likely, at least if you're like me, you really haven't had time to look at and review the minutes. Kelly sent them out the next day, and then I forwarded them, but it's a month later. So I'll just send them around. I think I made 8 copies. Just share them,
Yeah,
take
give
a
it to the
peek.
people that
Yeah,
have to
I'll
vote
kind of
on it.
yeah, but we do just need to take a vote. I thought they looked exceptional, very detailed, and you captured everything about our expo. And we'll try to have Kelly on it.
So memorized.
Any extras?
You know,
Claudia?
you get, we get another one.
Oh,
Well, I had 2.
oh, good, thank you, yeah, and I think I made 8 of them, just to, you know, do a quick.
Somebody can look at them and then I can always just,
But they're good for those of us that didn't get them.
yes,
Yeah.
they-
Oh, right, there you go, oh,
Yeah.
but you know what, and I need to just remember to send them to the personal, I mean, I know we're trying to avoid
And
that,
I'm not
but.
supposed to, but I used to have
But
to
yeah,
send her
sorry,
to her
Lois and
first,
Elizabeth,
from my
because,
person
yeah,
to her.
and Kelly has so much detail in them too, which we appreciate, especially when we're thinking about the expo.
I know, it's hard to do it. I
next
didn't know if I
year.
was doing too much or not.
Yeah,
enough.
it's very tricky, and Deb, you did a phenomenal
Yeah,
job with it too, I'm just grateful.
It's just
I don't-
typed.
So,
This one
Um,
wasn't televised, I was trying to watch it, but it
yeah,
wasn't.
we
there.
weren't televised, and we weren't sure why. We fiddled with it a little bit, but, yes, so it does help when it's televised, because then you can go back. If you notice anything, let Kelly know if your attendance, anything like that.
Kelly, you are incredible, this is amazing.
Maybe I don't need so much detail.
Wow,
Save myself from
wow.
No, we appreciate it.
They covered everything on the notes I have.
If I don't do it the night of or the day after, forget about it. So that's why I do it so
I'm the
quickly.
same way, Yeah, yeah, and Deb, you always try to do that too, because
Right.
otherwise it's like,
Yeah,
oh.
but technically, we have to have them within 5 days of the meeting anyways, but sometimes it's hard to do that when you're busy and, you know.
Has- Yeah, John's been in a couple times today already working on things that he's gonna present for us, so that'll be good too. Did anyone notice anything? All right, no, I think the minutes are set, and may I have a motion to accept them?
a motion.
Thank you, John, in a second?
I'll second.
Lori, great, so, yep, perfect. And then, if we want to jump around, of course we can on the agenda. What I have John next, and if we want, you know, John, it's up to you if you wanna go now, or we can save it towards the end, whatever.
Yeah, why don't we save it to the end, because some of these things we can get through pretty quick.
Okay, good. And our goal will be 7 or before, certainly, so. Number 5 then, the Jim Green Award Procedure Draft Review. So this is something that Kelly had created for us right after we had first discussed it. I think it's time, even though we're saying it's gonna start January 1st and run through April, I think it's time for us to take a peek, see if there's any major change we want to make. If not, I think we go with this, maybe if there's a few little things you wanna change. But just to kinda get the ball rolling with it. And this is exactly as Kelly had presented it.
I have one, yeah. You can watch them over.
Yeah, there's just, there's just to kind of.
No, I do not need one, thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Tell them
Yeah, I need some.
Jim's block is a pain.
Oh, Deb, you tell, that was,
No, that's,
Oh, yeah, well, you know what, we did have our first plaque, our honor to Jim Green, is now hanging in the corridor, which people have noticed it, and
They've asked
it's
about it.
quite, yeah, it's quite a tribute. So another reason why, Deb, I'm glad you reminded me about that, because people are asking, so we want to make sure that we're going to really follow through on this now in honor of Jim and all the future people. So if you notice anything here, let's bring it forward. What I'm thinking, something that I've been deemed in charge of now is the Boston Post Cane recipient, and I'm honored to do it because just imagine, you know, the person that's 100 or 101. I've mentioned it a few different times. It's been on social media. It's been on the website. So far, we've only had one person apply. So originally, it was supposed to be October 1st as our date for all applications to come into us. And really, there's no process with this other than Londonderry resident for a period of time, your age, of course, you know, the year you were born. But so far, we only have one. Then I extended it to October 31st, talking to the town manager, and that was fine with him and Kirsten and everyone involved. Still, we haven't gotten anyone else. So I printed this off tonight just thinking that once we solidify this, we need to get, you know, have a site on the website to announce our Jim Green Award and really bring life to it there too. And then we can start to promote it. And another place we probably want to start to work is our senior resource page too. But this is just something that I can pass it around, but when I was looking at our website, really, Kirsten did a really nice job with it because, you know, and this doesn't do it justice when we print it out, but she actually has a little information about, you know, who the past people were on the Boston Post cane. The application is there with a link, which is very minor, the criteria is there, but this is where we want to head. And before we know it, January 1st will be here, if we want to stick with that. So any thoughts? And I know this is a tough one because
I have a
Yeah,
question.
Sure.
You said anyone can apply. Does a person have to apply, or can a family member
They can
nominate
nominate.
them?
Yeah, Lois, you
Yeah.
said
So
it better. I think this is
It doesn't
not,
make
They can
a
get
difference.
nominated,
it's not
yeah.
I don't
apply.
think anyone's, if
Gonna
I'm
put
101, I'm
right.
probably not going
Yeah.
to apply.
Oh, yes. No, you mean on the Boston Post
Yeah,
cane, thank
yeah.
you, yes, you're absolutely right. And so, and even on the one that we're looking at with Jim Green too, right? But
Nice.
no, this, so far, the
I
only
never
one I
did
have, and
those
I
last
won't
year.
state it publicly now
Yeah.
until we can announce it at council meeting.
haven't been
It's
on
just
it.
one woman that, a neighbor reached out and submitted her name right away. So maybe that's meant to be too, you know, and then we'll present her with it and we can do more. But, and
Go
I
back
think
on
the
it.
same thing with our Jim Green, it's probably gonna be someone that, go ahead. Yeah,
Is there a
Marianne.
database that has everyone's birth date in it?
You know,
No, we don't have that.
no, you know,
We
legally
don't
we
even take
can't.
people's,
we
we don't
can't-
even take
yeah.
their years.
Yeah, we
on their
can't, it's
numbers.
illegal to ask
Yeah.
people
Well,
their,
it's like
Yes,
DMV,
from
you
all
would,
the
yeah.
Driver's licenses?
Yeah, it's all protected.
that's all
so-
protected.
Yeah.
But I know where you're going with it because I can think of a few people that, you know, possibly
I know, we were,
might.
we were like,
Yeah,
But
and if
they,
you
you
knew
know,
where they
Yeah,
lived or went, you could advertise in that.
in that area.
Area?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
and you're
know,
probably
like the
right, we probably, yeah,
churches.
we probably need to do more outreach to get more people
Yeah.
to apply.
The high school sign, I love that high school sign.
That, Mary and I have been trying for 7 years now, to have a sign just
Yeah.
like that for the town. Patrick
Right.
and I have talked about it. It's gonna happen eventually.
Mhm.
They've been out, they've measured, but it's just coming up with the money for it. But that's the best place to spread the information
Right.
about voting, about our meetings, about, emergencies, anything that's happening in the
Well,
town.
why is the common lit up tonight? When I came there, that was, did you see it?
No.
It's all lit up.
Me neither.
No,
Yeah.
I know they
it's
were.
been lit up since
Yeah.
the
Haunted-
Halloween,
yeah,
the
they
week
were
it was.
It's
doing
all
haunted-
blue and kind of.
That was from the Halloween stuff,
Okay,
I
'cause
don't
it's
think they
still
forgot
like
to
blue.
draw
Yeah.
that.
Wow, with
You know,
the
at
balloon
night,
on
yes.
top of it? Oh, I think I might have noticed it last night too.
Yeah,
but,
it's been like that
it's
since
probably
they had
from
the-
the high school students were
They
doing
had that
something
thing.
like through
Well, I
the
don't know
woods.
if they want to do it, but that's another way of, when it's not being used for something else, that's another way of advertising.
Yes, yeah, and,
I don't know if it's appropriate.
Katie's helped with elections,
For
like
what?
whenever we've
Oh,
asked
for
that
the
electric
electric.
sign that she
Oh.
has out in front, that was actually a group of seniors that did that as their project, you know, and brought it forth to the council, and it's beautiful. And that's what we'd like to see between the police, the library, you know, so it could promote the town things. And it would be ours, you know, and we could be sitting here and you know, that this
Yeah.
is going on Boston Post cane. But yeah, excellent idea, and the more we can all promote that idea, you know, eventually it'll happen.
Are we keeping this open then a little longer, or stopping today?
Well, you know, I mean,
I know it's hard.
I know it's a tough one. What are you thinking, John?
Well, this Thursday night, I think it's like 6 o'clock, the master plan.
Yes,
because
they
They're
are,
having a
right.
big, roundtable thing, which they're trying to get a lot of residents to show up.
Right.
So maybe we could, that could be mentioned there.
Or really at every meeting that's televised,
And then,
if they start and they happen to mention it at the,
Yes,
whether it's
yeah.
planning board, any of them, they can mention it at the beginning.
You're right.
and the town manager's having this. for-
Yes, it's,
whatever it's
get to
called.
know
Oh,
your
the, yeah,
candidate.
town hall, it's a town hall meeting.
I
next
don't know
week or
what
this
it
week?
is, but it
Yeah.
must be soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
so
next
maybe
week,
we
I
could
think.
get something.
So is the thought that we should keep
Well,
it
I'm just
open for a
saying.
little bit longer?
I see it on my
Is that what we're
calendar at work,
thinking?
and I've written it
Yeah.
down. I think it's on the
Difference.
Thursday,
Yeah.
next Thursday, I'm not sure.
You know what we'll
Can't
do
say
though?
we didn't try.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Sean tomorrow and check with him or send him a text later. Because as long as we have the approval to do it, and, cause I know that so far, but then there's a part of me that says, oh, but one person was right in there when they needed to with they're hopeful, so it's a tough one. So I think we'll leave it to our town manager and see what he thinks.
How did this person apply, the one applicant?
Yeah, so that's what all
How did
this
they
It was
is.
on
how
the
did they-
website.
Yeah,
It's
so
on the
we
website.
On the
social
town
media'd it
website.
a little bit. Kirsten created the page and we worked together in
Okay,
here
I've seen
and
it.
came up with this. She did a beautiful job. The application is right online and then they came to me. I thought I was gonna be flooded and, what is it?
Where is it
If
on
you-
the town website?
What I did just before coming in is I just searched Boston
If you
Post
do the
came,
search,
yeah.
little
And I-
square, put
yeah.
Boston Post.
But I think she had it on the front there as a, and then it just comes to me.
I can link it to my Facebook page.
Yes, it'd be
Well,
wonderful.
not mine, but the
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Mhm.
We can also, who's running the senior resource page now? Nope,
I know, it was
nothing.
Jim and I were
Yeah.
doing it, so.
I don't know
Good
who
point.
owns rights to
Yeah.
it, but we are not using that at
No,
all.
we're
But I don't know
not.
that the public would use it either.
They're not.
But
there's not
we
that
could,
many
we
people
could
on
rev
it.
it up again.
Well, we
couldn't
should be able to
Yeah.
put the link to that on the town
Yeah.
Excellent
Facebook
idea.
page too, which
Yeah,
I have
you're
access
right.
to, but Kirsten does too.
Yeah,
The library could do it too, couldn't it?
Aaron could, yeah.
Aaron could too, absolutely.
So we could blast with Facebook. I also
Yeah.
have the Fireman's Luncheon is this Saturday,
Oh,
for Thanksgiving luncheon. I'm gonna have 100 people. If we type something up to hand out,
may not be a bad idea
something
either.
small, not
Yeah,
multiple
just
Like a,
pages,
like a,
half page,
a half
hand it
page.
to everybody who comes in.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Um,
too.
What if
I could do that at
we
work.
I'm happy
gave
to
it to
hand
the
that
woman
out.
who did apply during this time or got nominated during this time and then really like bumped up for the next time we,
Well, that we
That'd
need
be-
to do it. That's where I'm at a little bit with it, 'cause I hear all this, but there's a part of me that someone
She
actually
did already
followed
fill it out and
through.
everything.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You
I
know?
think the marketing of it needs to be
Yeah,
better.
100%,
That's why
yeah.
we don't have more applications.
Yeah, I
Because
think
it's
so
supposed
too.
to be the oldest person,
It is
right?
supposed to
And then
be.
someone that's
Oh.
been involved in the town and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, and the last time, it went to a wonderful person, but, after the fact, it's always great, and we knew that all of a sudden there was, there were other people that were beyond
Are you gonna pass it around
96.
so we could
Oh,
just
sure,
look at
take
it?
a look at it, yes, and actually, this too, if you have a chance, we will finish early. If you wanna take a peek in the hallway, you'll see, Deb and I got that up on display too. But, we're jumping around a little, which is fine, but on that, the one thing it doesn't have, it was in the library historical room hidden, so Deb and I asked, hey, can we bring it over here so that it could be seen, and, eventually the momentum will get going and people will start to think of it too.
they'll ask about it.
Yeah, once
What
they
is that?
see it, but the problem is there's no plaque or anything that came with it. So that's something that we need to think about
So
in,
looking at this and looking at the years, there's
Yeah.
many years that,
Well, it's not a yearly thing, it's the person keeps it until they're.
Until they're passed away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know, I did the same
I
when
have
I
to say it
first
until they
did
pass
that,
away.
yeah, and
That's
then
what
it
it
gets,
is.
yeah, so, and that's what I'm thinking with the
Can't take
person
it.
is, older too, Lori, so I'm kind of
Like a
thinking,
10-year run or 5-year
you know,
run.
Right,
yeah,
we have
so
to
I,
have
yeah,
it for
yeah,
the next time
yeah.
we have to award it.
But so let's go back to our Jim Green Award, what are our thoughts on that? The way that this is written, any thoughts?
This hasn't changed, right?
Has not
Last time,
changed at all,
and I'm okay.
no? You're okay with it,
Yep.
Patrick?
So I think under nomination period, maybe just be a little more clear, because the nominations will be accepted from January 1 through April 30th for the preceding calendar year. So it would be like, just make that a little more clear. So to recognize someone for acts conducted within the previous calendar year.
Previous calendar year.
And then that gives a 4-month period to nominate, and that's still plenty of time to get our little nameplate done. That's like a week turnaround time.
Right.
And then it does say on the back, award presentation, you get your name added to the Jim Green Award. I think you should, if we're gonna talk about the awarding of a name added to a plaque. I think some type of take-home little plaque would be nice. So
Oh,
they make some inexpensive, like, you know, the crystal diamond type stuff, the clear glass. We don't need a picture of the person or a picture of Jim on it, but it could just be something under $100 through Crown Trophy that just says, you know, Jim Green, you know, whatever, 2025 recipient, Mrs. Jane Smith or something.
because we didn't do anything with Linda, did we?
And they're not that, yeah, like you said, they're not that
Probably
expensive. the
$50 or
Yeah.
just, and I can only imagine how that would have made Linda feel had we, you know, given, that's an incredible idea, I love
You
that,
can still give
yeah.
her, you can still get her
We
one too.
should
Yeah, I was gonna
have
say, we
first
still get-
I think she was
one.
pleased with what we did.
Yeah, she was very happy.
Oh, she was really
Beyond
pleased, she was
happy, yeah.
beyond, but that would be, it would be something then that she could share with her grandchildren, or you could, with me, yeah, that's a
Whether it's
lovely.
added to the policy or not, I think we should still do it.
I think that's, would it need to be into the policy, what do you think, does it have to be?
It just talks about plaque display and award presentation, that's what gave me the idea.
Well,
Kind of a nice surprise.
Yeah,
I
oh,
think
yes,
that's kinda
okay,
nice,
we'll
yeah,
go with it as
really.
a
It
surprise.
says the recipient will be presented with an acknowledgement. You can make the acknowledgement.
Be the plaque, the
be-
smaller
be the
plaque, yeah,
smaller, right?
exactly, very
I
good.
like
I mean,
that, yeah.
I
As long
mean,
as continuing committee members remember that year after year after year.
Yeah,
Always thinking of a time when we're not all around, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, not in the sense of living or dead, I'm just saying, whether we're on the committee or not. That's all.
I like that.
And that's why we have policies, right? So it gives
Right.
stop people that, you know, volunteers come and volunteers
Sure.
go, not everyone can dedicate time in the future, right?
Who
Whatever
can
the group
nominate?
is.
Anybody can nominate, just like the
Not within
Boston
beginning
Paint?
of the week,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we can nominate.
Well, it
too.
says, well, the one thing I thought when I reread it is that we cannot
Who can nominate any
nominate, let's
member of
double
the
check. I
community?
thought we could.
We can't receive
We
it.
can't receive.
Oh, we
it.
can't
Right,
receive
we
it,
can't
but we
receive
can
it.
nominate,
And I
correct.
think you said that it can't be an employee of the town.
Someone did say that, you're right. Nominee's name,
You'd have to check with Sean on that one, I think,
Yeah.
because
I
it's
think you're
different
right,
than,
though. Yeah.
it's different than a
Yeah.
thing, but it might be
Yeah,
covered.
could it be an
Yeah.
employee, you're
It
saying?
doesn't say anything about being an employee.
No, you
Yeah.
know what I think you might be thinking of, Marion, and this is also on my agenda for tonight.
Mhm.
This is something that John was questioning earlier today about who can be on the committee. I don't wanna confuse this, but I'll throw it out there. So, we had heard at one point, because now we're looking at the policies, we're trying to do a deep dive into making sure that we're following RSA's, doing things correctly. But with that, it was thought that because myself and Debbie I'm elected, Debbie's employed by the town, that we couldn't serve. We could certainly come, but we couldn't serve. Remember that? And then, you know, Valerie has said she could step up, you know, because after January, we thought we'd just come as volunteers. But then John actually looked at the, in our charter,
Yeah,
and it, let's see.
The town charter.
Yeah, the town
Yeah, I looked at that too.
charter. Here it is, and I
it seems
can-
more, it's more for
Yeah,
like
sorry.
planning board,
Yeah.
or those kind of boards, not like just
Yeah.
this type of board,
Yeah.
but I didn't argue.
Yeah, what John noticed
them.
in the charter, and it didn't print very well, but basically it says, except as otherwise provided by this charter, no department head nor regular employee of the town shall be appointed to a town office, board, or commission. So the old teacher in me, what's the catch? What did John pick up on? It doesn't say.
committee.
It does, there you go. See,
Because
that's-
it's different,
yes.
it's a committee is different than
Right.
like some of the other
Yeah.
boards.
It's not a typo, and I don't think you can
Yeah.
assume that it was supposed to be there because of the
Right.
hierarchy, all
Right.
Right,
these.
So interesting that John noticed that, and then he did go and meet briefly with our town manager, who said, you know, until further notice, he believes that John is correct. So since Debbie and I, this is a committee, and we really have no say. I mean, we really we're powerful but powerless, because we can only bring our thoughts and ideas to the council or to the town manager. We don't make decisions.
right, we don't affect
Right,
anything
right.
that goes on in the town as far as.
So,
the-
given that, then Debbie and I would be permitted to stay on as full members or alternates going forward, so, and future people too that might wanna become part of the board. So John, that was great investigating, because I didn't catch it, that's for sure, so.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, so that was, so kind of jumping on that one. So that, you solved a big issue there, so, because Debbie and I would really like to stay part
After
of
being on it
it.
for so many years, and then they say it
Yeah.
can't be, it was kind of
Right, so
strange.
that was John, that, and it's just clarification, unless we ask questions we don't know, we just kind of assume, so that was wonderful, thinking outside of the box. And then, but going back to this, to our procedure, anything else, Patrick, that was a great catch. The one thing we don't have here is, it's the title, and do we just want it, the James Jim Green Award, is that,
How about the James Jim Green Senior Service Award?
oh, even better, James.
I like that better, much better.
Jim, I like that.
Just provides a little definition, that's all.
I would have thought of that eventually. Patrick, that's wonderful, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you get that, Kelly?
I got that, yeah.
Okay.
That's powerful, perfect, love it. All right,
Should
so,
we put in the criteria about the year, the previous year? Should we put it in there?
Yeah, the nomination.
Under
period.
She
nomination
took that.
period,
Right.
preceding calendar year.
Oh, no, the
Yeah.
criteria.
Under criteria.
Oh, criteria.
This is
What do you think?
demonstrated commitment to
Patrick, what do you think?
volunteering
You've done a lot.
for seniors.
As long as it's encapsulated somewhere, whether, when I talk about eligibility nomination.
Yeah.
Wherever you put the nomination period is for acts of service conducted in the previous calendar
Previous
year
year,
of
that should be
nomination.
good, yeah, that should be good.
So you think we're okay to leave this part then?
Yeah,
Wherever you guys wanna put it.
Okay.
yeah, I don't, it'd kind of be redundant to do it both ways.
Well, you know what, I do kinda like it, it's under nomination period, because then it stands out a little bit
A
more too.
little bit more, yeah.
But good point, cause we can't say it enough. Kelly, do you, have enough information? Could you just add to your first policy
I
the
will
title
send-
and what you did?
Absolutely.
And they have to be over 90 years old. Oh, no, that's the
No.
wrong one.
We're jumping, yep, go ahead. Yeah.
I think, but if, once we approve this,
Yeah.
I think we need to give this problem, I guess, the town manager. Remember I told you they were trying to get, what's the other, the person of the year, whatever those things.
Yes,
They were
yeah.
saying there was no real policy for doing
Oh, to have
that.
them
So-
see that there was something
So we
coming.
ought to give them this, and maybe they can, you know, use some of this, and/or they'll wanna go with the uniform one, that fits everything.
Right,
That-
good point.
so, but-
Right.
But
Good.
I think we should,
All right.
Also,
For-
Phil was gonna give us a copy of how they selected theirs. I don't know
Oh,
if you ever
that's
got
right.
that or not.
No,
I don't think
yeah.
we ever got it.
No, you're right, Lucy did
But
say
Phil
that
was going
that
to
would
give us a
help.
copy
Yeah,
of-
how they do theirs.
How
so
they
that
do
could-
theirs.
Yeah, I forgot about that,
Yeah.
that's right.
And it's not
Yes.
kind of nice the like it is, because you don't want it to be too wordy and too much,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Too
It's
many
just
different
reading
parts.
another one
Yeah.
might help you.
To do some, like something on it.
Oh,
yeah.
did I forgot this or I forgot that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question, Alona. When Bonnie left, was she ever given an award of any type?
Oh,
We did a major recognition for
Yeah.
her right around Christmas time, or last month. We gave her, I put together a book, a scrapbook of stuff for like, everybody wrote, I asked people to write letters in it. So she was given a presentation, not a plaque. We decided not to do a plaque because it was something that, she had things like that in her office already, and this was more of a memory book. So we did it, but we
A
did
little
it was a
personal,
little.
more personal
Yeah.
too.
Because we talked about her at one point, because she
We
did
did,
so
you're
much for
right.
this town. Volunteered her time,
She's not a resident, that's the problem.
but she's not a resident, it's a
Oh,
problem.
we
Yeah.
did, right.
That was the problem, so I just wondered
Yeah.
if anything was, because she's not eligible because she's not a resident, even though she used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and really had to move.
That was
Yeah.
something I think that was gonna be discussed with Sean,
Yeah.
if that was work, I don't know if that went to him.
Any member of the Londonderry community, oh, they submitted a nomination, oh, it's Londonderry resident, okay.
Londonderry resident.
Because Londonderry community is a much larger,
It is,
just
you're
like
right.
committee, right?
You're right.
Well, I was thinking of nominating some of my higher hour volunteers that are over 100 hours a year, and some of them are not residents.
How
So-
about changing it from resident to community?
I don't think we should.
It's a
Yeah,
good
I think
point.
it
I think
should
it's
be a
too large,
resident.
because I just feel really bad about Bonnie, because we.
But was Bonnie a resident when she
She
was
always
volunteering?
was.
No,
No,
she
she
moved,
moved
she
on.
was midway,
Not
she
all of
moved.
it,
Not
okay.
all.
Yeah,
But the majority of it, really, 'cause how long, well, maybe
It was
10 years.
before my time.
Yeah, probably, maybe 8 years, 10 years. She, has moved now to Derry, not that far. But-
We made a recent distinction at the senior center between residents and non-residents, something I was doing with Mike Malaguti, and now we followed through with Sean. Because we're taxpayers in this community, we're charging a lower membership fee, higher to non-Londonderry residents. So there's kind of a delineation being developed. I don't know if it applies to this, but something to think about.
You could say current or past residents. That way, if you have lived in Londonderry in the past, you could still qualify.
I don't know, I think it should just stay resident.
Stay.
That's just my opinion.
I just feel bad
It gets
that
complicated.
Bonnie didn't get
It
more
does.
Yeah,
recognition.
she, at the
You
senior center,
celebrated.
she got a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
She did, I assure you she did.
Yeah.
And this is for
Um,
the prior year, so.
So she,
If
If they're a resident during that.
they were
Yeah.
done,
Yeah,
she,
no,
She's
right.
providing service during the
Oh, you're
prior
right.
that would have been
year.
24, she's not active this year at all.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
Mhm.
It's
Oh,
a
that's.
You shouldn't make a policy for a person, it should just be for going forward.
Okay,
That's a
good
good
point. Patrick, yeah, but Lowe's, yeah, 100%. So we'll move from that, and then, looking at the policy as it is. So do we want to make a motion to accept it and move forward with it and get the ball rolling? Or do we want to wait, as Lois had mentioned and offered as an idea? We could, Kelly could come up just final, like put this
Let's put the
together with the
tweaks.
new format,
Put the
and then
tweaks.
we'll talk to Phil, get Phil's, document, and then
What is
we
Phil's
could.
document?
It was, it's some award that they give in the fire department, and I apologize, I don't remember what it was.
Is it the American Legion Award?
No.
I thought it wasn't, the way he described it, was an award for someone in the fire department that was outstanding.
Patrick?
May I offer some feedback as the person who wrote
Sure.
the 15-page policy for the Londonderry Police Department Awards? This is great.
Yeah, it's just
'Cause it's
basic,
simple.
it keeps it simple.
If we just tweak it to
Yeah.
talk about the calendar year and the Londonderry resident thing, give it to Churston, she'll review it, if she gives it the go-ahead,
Yeah, I
So
think
the
it's
police
good
department
too.
also has an award?
Policy.
There's a lot of stuff in it.
Patrick's like,
Yeah,
I
it's
could
different.
tell
I
you,
ran the
I
committee
could
for
tell
10
you.
years. Ours are all peer nominated.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's not,
interesting.
and they're not, and we do a volunteer committee of civilian and sworn personnel, usually of lower rank. And then they review every application or nomination, and there's no formal application process, here's the definition of meritorious valor, commendation bar for unit citation or something like that. And they say, I believe these officers are deserving of this award for these reasons, and here's the call for service or the incident number. Then the committee reviews it, and they choose by vote after that. So very similar to this, this
Yeah.
is one specific recognition, the only one we're gonna give, as opposed to service bars and
Several.
which is
Right,
more
different
military,
ones, yeah.
paramilitary.
I think this is very clear on what it's
So do I.
stuff.
Yeah.
And here's it, you want it to be as broad as possible for an award like
Right.
this.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and that's, and,
Anyone that's simple enough you can understand.
Simple, like.
Well,
the
yeah, that just
Boston-
keep it simple, yeah.
That's why I brought the Boston Post Kane one too, because when I looked at the website, it's been up there now for a while, but it's simplistic, like it didn't
Mhm.
take a long time to fill it out. You pop a name in the Y and.
People don't read it if it's too wordy.
I'm sure it's,
I'm sure Phil's policy is great, I just don't know that it's
It's-
gonna add
it's-
anything.
He's,
to
Yeah.
this.
he's coming to the walking club tomorrow, the fire department is doing it, do you want me to ask him?
No, you know what, I think I'll make a motion, let's, go with the changes that Kelly issues, and if anyone has any
I
objections to it.
think we have a great document, I
Okay,
think
and
we should
Patrick, you
close the book on
clarified
it.
for us, because, I think now, based on what you said, that let's, and, could I have a motion then to accept this policy, and Kelly will send us the formal.
Bruce Owens.
Told you I was in a
So,
meeting,
would
man.
anyone
I
like
make a
to?
motion to accept the Jim Green Award
I get it.
qualifications
Thank
with
you.
the proposed changes.
And anyone
Second.
like to second it?
Who's the second?
Second the motion. And how about all in favor, say aye?
Aye.
Perfect, okay, good. Thank you, that's great. And then at our next meeting, actually, as Patrick said, we'll get the ball rolling now with Kirsten and with Sean, and we'll really kind of, because before we know it, that January 1st is going to start. And it'll be something nice for us, kind of looking for that next thing while we have it now, which will be really good. So the one thing before we have John, and Ilona did want a few minutes too, so just the one thing I wanted to mention under attendance, we don't have our liaisons other than Patrick. Thank you so much because you add so much and you attend. But I did check in with our school board, and remember, they were always here for us for the most part, but when we
Is it
switched.
Kevin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin
he
Gray
was
was with
before,
us,
yeah.
but then we switched, to the first Tuesday of each month, and then that's when the school board meets. They have meetings started at 6. So, reaching out to their chair, Bob, he, of course, if we need anything, if we wanna share information, they'll definitely, assist us with that, but that's what happened there. We have our police, we have Phil for our fire,
And Erin
library.
comes quite a bit,
Yeah,
too,
and
so.
Erin's here a lot too, so, so just to give you a little update on that too, cause I mean, this is phenomenal how many
So the
people
reason we
did.
changed was because this conflicted with the historical meeting.
Yes,
But
exactly.
Jim is no longer with us.
But and this is a little, Debbie and I had joined the historical, we've been for
That's
years.
because they changed it, so we joined it.
Okay.
And,
Stir the pot.
yeah, well, and for
It gets
years,
more
like, we
complex.
wanted to be a part of that,
We
but
just
that,
couldn't do
but we
it.
couldn't, and then finally Jim said, okay, I'll switch. And that's something else, and I'm glad you guys are good at, zipping around with me here, I appreciate it. Because another thing here, I mentioned down on number 8 is that, Historical Society is a great, no pressure group to pop in on. So, keep
very
that in
laid
mind,
back.
it's
Very
really
laid
neat,
back.
'cause it's the history of the town, great group of people. So that's why I mentioned it down there too. So, if you still have that Tuesday available, the third Tuesday.
Is
but-
it here, or is it?
I know, it's over
It's
at the library.
And then the
now.
summertime, we meet in the barn.
The barn's really
It's very
neat,
nice
'cause
when
you're
we meet there.
inside
It's
that
nice.
historic barn, and Linda Green, a great Dave, a lot of good people are involved.
What time is the meeting?
That meeting starts at 6, 7,
Six.
6. I always
6
wanna
p.m.
say, yeah, it's 6 o'clock also.
6 to 7, yeah.
Town
And,
library.
is it 6? It is 6, right?
Yeah.
I know it's, yeah, it's like, we'll show up, but, yeah, and we'll, we'll make sure we get that right for Kelly for the minutes, because if anyone's interested, it's a great group and great
Everybody's
things are
welcome.
planned. It's just a real, it's like this kind of thing, all positive and upbeat. Yes, so then we've got, John we have on hold a little bit, and we have, Elona's gonna share a few things. I think we've covered everything else for now. Why don't
Could
we
I
have?
ask a question
Sure.
about number 8 while we're still on it?
Sure.
Thursday, master plan meeting. But the sign is saying land use. Is that the same group?
It might be, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It says land use on the flashing sign at the high
Oh,
school.
thank you.
And I didn't know if it was 2 different groups.
I'm
It's
sur-
not.
yeah, I'm
Thank you.
surprised.
The
there-
sign says land use, doesn't say anything about the
Land use
plan.
meeting, or land plan.
Does it say the
land use
same
meeting.
date though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, that's what.
Maridel, it does, so
it's gonna
November
be a
6th
round
and
table
6th,
to-
oh,
To talk about
yeah.
the ideas about how to use the land in this town, basically.
And what you hope for the future.
What's the one that's gonna be held at Orchard Christian?
That's gonna be a
different.
town
It's a
hall
You know,
with
and
the
that's the one I forgot to
counselors.
put on here. I
Yeah, the
couldn't think
counselors and,
about- yeah.
town,
So
Sean.
that's an opportunity to go and meet the council will be there, our town manager will be there. It's an open forum to ask questions, things that you might
Do you remember
want to.
that date?
What was, somebody
Oh,
just
I
said it, I
forgot.
It's next
thought.
week, it's Wednesday or
Ah.
I
Thursday.
don't remember what date
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, thank you. All right, Marion, so when,
It's
that'd
probably on
be
the
great.
website too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'd be great,
gotta
and
be
then
on the
Kelly could add it to her minutes
And that's
for
gonna
us
be
too.
where?
That is at the Orchard
Orchard
Christian
Church.
Church,
In
yeah.
Pillsbury.
November 13th,
Thank you,
6:30.
Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
yeah.
6:30.
And that's, it's meet your officials
Me
in a
too,
sense, yeah. Should be very interesting, actually. I think it's the first time that's happened. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so just there we have, Kelly Karen, the Master Plan Day Historical Society. So Ilona, why don't you talk a little, and Ilona's gonna invite you to something too, but, why don't you take a couple minutes?
I really wasn't planning on reviewing a lot with the senior center
Yeah,
activities.
no, that's fine.
Because I gave you the newsletter.
Yeah.
But we're moving forward, it's pretty much status quo as it's been. I try to add extra activities every month. We're having our Fireman's Thanksgiving on Saturday. 100 people have signed up, and people are still trying to sign up, and they don't understand why they can't come. And it's so hard for me to say no, but there's only so many people we can handle. I did, today, actually, over the last couple days, I heard there's a lot of different activities for seniors happening for Thanksgiving in Derry. And I actually posted those on Facebook, and I printed it out in the senior center so people could go to different Thanksgiving functions in churches. And do you know something?
I just have a question about what time is the fireman's one?
We serve at 12:30.
I was gonna say, maybe it's too late to plan, but maybe for next year, if you wanted to do 2 seatings, fire does the first one, PD does the second one. I don't know
Oh,
if
if you're
that's possible or not.
volunteering, we can buy more turkeys, they pay for everything. I've put about $200 into it with stuff that I've purchased for it.
So maybe you and I could talk tomorrow about this year's event.
What a
Not to
nice
occupy time
idea.
here, but I could get 5 to 10 officers easy.
Okay, that'll be cool. Because I love that.
Cook-off, a cook-off.
Oh, God, the competition. Well, they deep fry all the turkeys too.
The fire department's there. It'd be a good-
Yeah.
How about the fire
That's why they do it.
Fire fries and cop serve. There we go.
Oh, there you go, that could work, yeah.
But I have probably 30 people working it that day. Family members, wives, children. It's pretty intense.
I'll reach out tomorrow.
And
to-
I just kind of lasso everybody till, I mean, I manage the building, I don't really manage the event, and the invitations too. So, I wanted also to limit it just to Londonderry residents again, but this year we did senior center members plus residents. But still, 100 people just filled up in like 2 days. And people are coming in saying we haven't heard anything about it, and it's like, we posted it as soon as we decided.
It's every year.
But it's every year, and but people, I as part of what I'm going to talk about at town hall next Monday night is I want to shine a bigger light on seniors in the community. So what this is all about right now, I just made this today. There's a couple black and white copies, but it's I'm inviting anybody who's involved with seniors to come to the town council meeting next week. And what I'm gonna do in a nutshell is I'm gonna talk about what I've done and developed in the last 3.5 years. Yeah, bringing new programs on, running the senior center, working within my budget. But what I really feel personally is I'm the manager of the senior center. I'm not the senior affairs director. I want to do more for the community. So as a result, I want to hire a part-timer to do my administrative stuff. I do so much administrative stuff, especially with Bonnie's committee folding, all the membership applications, all that stuff. I can't give it to the front desk folks because they're constantly rotating. They don't get it. I don't want to give them access to the money or the system because it's a database that we pay for. So what I want to do as a result is I want to pull back from, not the senior center itself, but the day-to-day stuff so I can work more with different committees, organizations, whatever. And, right now I'm working with the Arts Council, I work with you guys, I work with the fire department. This committee, I think, can bring to light a lot of the things that seniors need. The focus on transportation, housing, I mean, I know these are national problems, but even getting resources for, like we did at the expo, having those resources available to people on a day-to-day basis, instead of them calling 211 and waiting online forever. I want to serve the 7,500 seniors that are not members of the senior center.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more people out
To broaden it
there.
out, yeah.
You know, and you don't have to be, not everybody asks for help, and we need to let them know we're available. Yeah, and we can't solve all the problems, but we can help point them in the right direction.
What's your membership up to now?
My membership's around 600. I started at 420-ish when I first started. 30% of those folks are from out of town, and which means we're only serving like 425 people are Londonderry residents. And if you do the math, I did this, I'm doing my whole thing for next week.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically, my budget's, I think it's around $127,000. If you divide that by 600 people, that's over $200 a person we're paying to be members of the senior center. Even though they pay membership, which is nominal, I want to make that money work for the whole community.
Right, good for you.
And then the money to pay this person, 25 hours a week,
You should,
I already make money on rentals and on membership about $19,000 a year. I can cover 2/3 of the salary.
That's
you
So-
I thought, what was that other
mentioned
thing,
if
you
you
had
wanted
some
to-
money coming in for a part-time person, that never came to fruition.
And,
Remember
Remember
there was
what?
something about, there was some money? maybe?
Oh, Able.
Yeah,
I don't think they could provide the level of experience we need.
Oh,
It's
okay.
trying to be very
Right,
politically
politically
correct there.
correct, okay.
And it's only a 3-year program.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean. It's only a 3-year program, and then they can yank them away.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of fell through the cracks. And they didn't have any applicants. Well, I worked with Mike
Right, that's
Belaguti,
right,
with
yes.
Tara upstairs.
That's right, it was
used to
back when
be-
Mike
We
was
had
here still,
meetings,
yeah.
and had nothing to do with Mike. It had to do with the fact that they, even when we started the process, they didn't have anybody who could apply or could be eligible for it,
John, you had a
based on
question.
their level of
Yeah, I was
experience.
just gonna mention too, if you're gonna have a discussion about this, you should mention not just that there's X numbers from out of town. You should say we got so many from Derry, we got so many
Yeah.
from Chester, and whatever, okay? And put that into your conversation, put it in the head where these people are coming from. Because I think over the long term, it would make a lot of sense of Londonderry, maybe Derry work together on a lot of these senior issues.
I can't get that granular in the time that I have.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a bad idea, and I know we have a lot of members from Derry because Derry has senior activities and programs, but they're spread all over. They don't have a senior center, so they're members of our senior center. And I mean, right now I have a Zumba class, which is on Tuesdays. I started with 25 people a week, and now I'm down to 6 or 3. And that's because there's an organization in Derry that gives this class for free. We charge $4, now it's $3. And we don't make money off that, it goes right back to the instructor. So, so that kind of, there's stuff going on that maybe we could collaborate on. So that's not a bad point.
And Ilona, with what you started with too, the idea of when Lois and I joined decades ago, the purpose or what we were interested in was the outreach, not really the senior center, but the outreach of the
For
people in the
everybody.
mobile homes and the people that are isolated that come into our office all the time and have no one. So if you set this direction, maybe finally we'll start to make a dent in it.
I can
So-
also start sending stuff with Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, all
You know,
that.
I've done that a couple times. I haven't done newsletters yet, but I'm trying to think of what it was. I've given out a few thick flyers and said, give these to the seniors.
Yes, yeah.
But they are homebound, so they're
Yeah,
not going to come
It's so
in.
hard, and many of them are very humble that, 80-plus age,
A lot
that
don't
they
wanna
don't
ask
want
for help
help.
either.
And
They're
technology, they don't want to
too-
go
Yeah,
online.
no, yeah, we had a man
Um,
in the office today, and it was
Yeah,
heartbreaking, that
it was.
about exactly what you're saying.
I have
but-
some incidents that
Yeah,
I'm
you
not going to
don't
share
live
in
all-
public,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I get stuff like that every day.
Did you have anything else?
No, that's it. It's
Thank
basically,
you.
vote for me. And,
Come and support Ilona,
Trying to
it's
get-
the town council
I pulled
meeting.
this from Facebook from a party we had a year ago, from our
For those of you that don't know her, that's Bonnie.
That's
Yeah.
Bonnie, yeah. I say Bonnie's right there, yeah.
Right, you're right. You know what, can you repeat the date of it though, because I didn't put it on here for you.
November 10th.
Oh, it's on this sheet, good, so November 10th, I
It's
meant to
next
put it
Monday
on our
night.
agenda.
You've asked me that 17 times. When am I
Aren't you
presenting?
glad that I'm celebrating it for you? And
We've gotten so confused on this budget
Oh,
schedule.
it
She
is,
and I were like, no, it's
Mine was
this.
last night, so I'm very
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
but
know how
yeah.
you stayed up that late. I don't know how I'm gonna make it.
So if we go to this
Oh.
meeting, are we supposed to
Yes, so,
carry
the-
signs
so,
that say
yes.
Hey, if you guys stand up and applaud, you'll probably get kicked out.
It's just support, so I'm gonna turn it over to
I
John.
think John was the only
And,
person there last night.
And John,
Yeah,
we're
he
gonna
can
give
get
him the,
November 10th.
yeah, see, I meant to put November 10th on my agenda, but as Ilona so pointed out, I've asked her many times and it's still not on there, so, November 10th. So that if you can, it starts, mine started at 6, I don't know if yours
I
is
think they're
6.
gonna do this 6 again.
Yeah,
I think
so
he is,
6,
yeah.
6 PM. But John, I'm gonna turn it over to you, we didn't leave you as much time as I was, but you've got some time, and, John has a really, good idea that he's gonna share, a little bit of history on about voter, car registration.
A lot of you are new, so you don't know the history that goes back on this last year. But basically, what we did last year is we went to the town council meeting, and we suggested that they take advantage of a RSA that allows towns to add a fee onto the registration fee and to use those proceeds for transportation-related issues. And it's a very, very broad description of what transportation is. So we went to the town council meeting, and we suggested that we do this. And the first thing we discussed was who's going to do the warrant article, okay? And we were saying, well, we're a member of the town, you know, and as a committee, seems like this, if you're interested, the town council should put the warrant article on the ballot, which is important because what is a resident's petition is not binding. In other words, people could vote for it or against it, the town council could just ignore it. So they were on for it. In fact, we were very surprised at how interested they were in doing this.
Supportive.
And thanking us for bringing this opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. So we thought, that was easy. So we come, 2 weeks goes by with next meeting. And, I
Town
should say,
council meeting.
So you thought it was easy?
the first meeting, they instructed the town administration to create the warrant article. Okay?
And John, we had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one ready to go
Yeah,
at
there's
that
a
time.
problem with that. But basically, we come to the next meeting, okay? And they have the warrant article and so on. And then several individuals, let's put it that way, basically said, we really still like this idea and everything,
But-
except that we don't want to use the registration method. And that's because we don't want to create, we have enough laws in town, and we don't want to create more laws. So therefore, we want to put a warrant article on the ballot for $200,000, which would go against the tax rate and, you know, have the town. So we said, oh. So
not quite
anyway,
identified.
so the town administration is instructed to create another warrant article. Now, weeks are going by, and then we come to the next meeting, which was 2 weeks after that, okay? And what they were going to do at that meeting was where they were gonna pick which warrant article they were going to do. Well, I think it was what, 11 o'clock, 10:30?
It was late. It was
Very
very
late.
late.
We thought we were
They-
going in for Shorewood.
So they're going back and forth between themselves and so on. And they got themselves so wrapped up around the axle that they basically tabled it. So nothing
And
happened.
1:45, I think that meeting ended.
Yeah,
It's like
that was the
1:45 in
late,
the
late.
morning.
But if you back up, just want to back up for a second to the first meeting and the second meeting. What really annoyed us is between the time of the first and second meeting, the time limit for to put a warrant article as a resident or
Was
whatever
over.
expired.
Yeah.
So they effectively agreed to do it, okay? And then after the period of time that we could have done it ourselves if we had to, we lost it. So, so we're sitting there, and it's a great idea, they agree it's a great idea, but they wanted to do it with this crazy warrant article because they come up with this idea that if we did this somehow it was gonna break some taboo rule about creating another law, and we weren't. Now, this has been on the books since 1997, and towns all over the state are using this method to do it. So, here we are now, okay? And the question is whether or not we send a letter to the town manager, I guess is the appropriate thing to do, asking them to take this, I don't, how do you ask them to take it off the table? Must be some words you use, to bring this back up for discussion again. And my
Heat it in the microwave.
my worry, my annoyance about this is I don't want to go through this again and have this cockamamie reason we're creating, new laws to do it. I mean, we just made swatches as well. So I guess the first question is the committee interested in attempting to get this through? Oh, I should mention another thing about this. The idea of doing it on a warrant article, it's not just, I don't think it would pass, and I wouldn't vote for it. But the reason I wouldn't vote for it is that if they did this with a warrant article, we actually got the money, and we gone out and did a plan, put it together, got more services for
Transportation.
seniors together, okay? Everything's working fine, okay? But get come next year, you have to do another warrant article, and that could fail. So now you've got people that you're helping, okay, suddenly without help. And you never want to do that.
Set up the expectation.
Yeah, so, but with the registration fee, that revenue stream is perfect for this. Because it's not, you don't get all the money at once, but you know you have a flow of money that as long as, you know, people are driving cars or whatever, I suppose we can make the transportation so popular that people would stop.
John, there was no plan after
Registration.
after the fact as to what to actually do with the money.
No.
That was,
Well,
And
that's
that was
the
a
reason
potential
they
thing
gave-
too,
that
they
was the
wanted to
reason
start
we were
using it for
giving.
other stuff too, that was talked
Sherry,
about too, and that
how
was
many
irritating.
registrations do you have times $5? How, would that have been $200,000?
That would have been about 200,000.
Is that why
So
we came
just-
up with the 200?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
when we were looking at it,
Okay.
just to give everyone maybe a little picture of what John, because I know we're all at different parts with it. So when you register your car, there are different fees. There's a town clerk fee, there's a clerk fee, there's
In the
different
town.
fee.
In the
This is in the
state, yeah.
portion,
In the state
right?
has the
And you'll
other.
see these little fees, $2, $3. But that's why I put it under number 6. What it's called, what John was working on, it's a reclamation fee. And it's not on your registration now, but if we were to go for this and it passed, it would be listed there as a municipal transportation improvement fee. And the max we can go for is $5. What that means is that every registration would be, you'd pay an extra $5 on your registration, but that money would go directly to transportation for seniors or other issues that the town manager, you know, and John is the sponsor of the warrant, would discuss. But does everyone have a clear understanding of what that is? So it's something, it's not on your registration now, but it would be added to an additional fee.
What I just gave you was 2 forms of the RSA and the warrant article. The the first one, the shorter looking
Article F.
basically, very specifically says the money's gonna use for municipal transportation, for, for seniors and people with disabilities. And there's a link in there to something called pedestrian registry, facilities. Now, the idea of that was that we have a transportation problem, but we also have a problem in town that the streets are dangerous to walk on. You know, the seniors have their mailboxes unfortunately across the street. In some places, it's a problem. So we wanted to use some of the money to try to deal with some of the worst case situations in town where people couldn't get out on the street.
Elizabeth, do you
And
have
then,
something?
the other document is, and this is particularly annoying, we gave quote, the administration, the first one that you see, and the second one is what they came out with. Now, if you read the document, you will see that they opened that up for all kinds of uses, all transportation related, but not senior transportation.
That's what, it went off the rail at
It
that
went off
point,
the rail.
I couldn't believe, I was
You were
like,
watching it.
I was like, what?
We're talking the bicycle paths.
They were talking about using the money for
stuff.
all kinds of stuff, it was like, it just started going like this branch that was growing as they talked more and more about where the money was gonna go,
So anyway,
instead of with seniors.
right now, if we take it off the table, we're gonna be dealing with the warrant article that was created by the town. And that's not ideal, but if we could get that passed, okay, I think there are ways that we can steer the more appropriate amount of money to do for senior transportation. Because frankly, I can't, if you actually got it passed, like beyond my comprehension, anybody's gonna try to, materially move the money to someplace else. So what I'm basically asking you people, whether or not we want to try to get this through. I mean, this is a big step in terms
Yes.
of help. We're helping people.
I would say definitely yes. I do think that the $5 would pass before the tax increase, because overall people are
They look at the
already
numbers.
taxed up to their,
It's like
Yeah.
to their
Yes.
the cheapest cup of coffee that I think you can get in town right now is at McDonald's.
$5.
And I don't think you can get anything at Starbucks for $5. So you're talking about the cost of a cup of coffee, right? You agree with that? Can you buy a cup of coffee anyplace cheaper than $5?
I make my
Right,
coffee at home.
McDonald's?
He has a Keurig in his car.
Huh?
I make my coffee at home,
Oh, you bring your own?
yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
same.
Because it's $7.50 a coffee.
I knew that.
Yeah, you got probably about a 23-cent cup of coffee.
John, what are they talking about pedestrian facilities?
We put that in because it's kind of a category that deals with pedestrians. Now, it can really be anything from putting a crosswalk up, putting a light street stop line, and anything like that
Those
that's
blinking
associated
lights.
with pedestrians. And I thought that would be, if we narrowed it down to that, we could reuse the money, at least it'd be narrowed down to help people get around town that aren't driving. Now, the thing that changed from this year to last year is the traffic situation seems to all, it's like slowly putting water into a tub. And all of a sudden, over the years, everybody hasn't noticed, but now the tub is overflowing on the tub. So there's
It's a
a
top
lot of,
priority. Yeah,
there's a lot going on now about the whole business of traffic congestion. And the town manager is putting a warrant article on to take, and I think it's for, I want to say $500,000.
Something I was thinking for,
To
something
take
like
out
that.
the unapplied fund balance. You familiar with that? Taking
Yeah.
money out of the unapplied fund balance to deal with that problem. So, but, I mean, these problems, the whole transportation issue was one big, huge thing. But in my opinion, you don't have to deal with these things one at a time. I don't think the traffic problem should go first. You know what I mean? We can do 2, 3, 4 different kinds of things together. So I don't think that should bother us, but, everybody's complaining about the traffic, and really, from seniors' point of view, the congestion is good. Makes it easier to get across the street if the traffic's clogged. So, I won't say that much.
I'm curious, I know there's a 400 something miles of road in Londonderry. Does anybody know that
There
figure?
is, it's like
It's a lot.
40
How many
something.
how many miles of road are main roads, like Mammoth, High Range, Litchfield?
Question, yeah.
Because,
Mammoth is a state road.
Mammoth is a state road.
but
yeah.
still, they come
Yeah.
through town and, if you're gonna put in sidewalks or lights or other, I don't think you can do the communities. You can't do
No,
the
you can't,
Kings.
no.
You can't do where I live. You
No,
can't do where you
no,
live.
there's no
Definitely can't do Royal Lane.
Yeah.
So how many miles are we talking about of road that need attention? And I know it's kind of off the subject, but seniors might actually use those roads.
But I think we need to stay focused on
Yeah,
the
it's
warrant,
just
because
more- yeah,
it's,
but-
3 minutes of,
Yeah.
and I do want,
But anyway, is
but,
everybody gonna?
but what, do you wanna have John move forward with this? Because now he'll go back to our town manager, to the town council. Do you think it's something that we should pursue? John, any other thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think, I've been thinking about not getting people any more upset than they already are. So I've been thinking about trying to talk to a couple of the town managers, or the town councilmen, and see if I can't grease the skids a little bit on some of these issues. The other thing we have going for us is the master plan, put the survey out, and when that came back, there was, I think they worded it as an urgent need for transportation for seniors and so on. So that's hard to walk away from that. So I think we have a good shot at doing this, but we got this, it's a blockade you don't know how to work around. Work around, it's not enough money, or it's too much money, or we don't need the problem, those things. But to work around, we're not gonna do it because we don't want, we don't wanna create another law is,
Yeah.
it's
Patrick,
difficult.
I think we
So
need to
John,
talk
what
more
does the
about what to
statute
do with the
say
money.
as far as how does a reclamation fee get approved? Is it by vote
By
by
vote.
townspeople or the town council?
by the people, it has to go to vote. The council, in a sense, should give their consent to move it forward, Patrick, and then it ultimately goes to the vote. And if the voters vote it down, then it doesn't happen, kind of like the auditorium years ago, wait, something, but if it does, then it would add that $5.
There's a big difference between seeing a warrant article that has a $200,000 amount on a little area that you're voting on. You keep seeing all these big numbers versus $5 once a year for a car.
Yeah.
But
Everybody
But the
pays.
very last line of that is also that on an average home assessed at $500,000, this would result in an
Yeah.
increase of 0.004 cents.
Yes,
And they-
exactly,
yeah,
which
and then they-
usually they would,
But
They don't even look at it half
This
the
is
time.
nothing.
But it's 4
that's what
cents per
Patrick's saying,
passing.
I'll
right?
talk to you offline, John, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but, so do we think we should, say to John to move forward with this and see, talk to the town manager? What do you think?
Sherry, you and John went to the meeting. You have a feeling of how it went that night. What are your thoughts?
Oh, we were so,
It was a totally different
Surprised.
council, wasn't it?
Yes.
there was
Two different
changes,
people.
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
And we have a different town manager now that is different as
Yeah.
far as
Who
like
can bring a
helping.
different perspective to it,
Different
I think,
perspective.
too.
In my opinion, I think you should try it again. That's just my
Knowing what I
opinion.
know about Sean and the dealings I've had with him, he's gonna wanna know, what are you gonna do with the money?
Right, and
Right.
John
What's the
did
plan?
have a good
Yeah.
conversation earlier today where it was discussed. John Crick, you were able to talk a little bit about it today, is that correct?
I discussed, I talked to the town manager about the charter and
Yeah.
the fact that, somebody didn't read it.
Oh,
close
yes,
enough.
about the committee
Like
party.
that. And he is in favor of doing this. He would like to do it for other things, actually, too.
Even like apportion certain amounts
So,
for other
We gotta
things.
get our.
It would be so nice if we had like a-
Order.
Patrick?
So the way I read this is I understand what happened. The other things got attached, like, okay, if we're gonna do this, let's not just have it for senior transportation, let's have it for all these other projects. But you could still add 12 more words to say a minimum annually raised, a minimum of 50% raised annually must go towards senior transportation
True.
costs.
Yes, true, yeah.
Okay.
Then now it adds
Yeah.
specificity.
Yeah,
That has to be
Right.
adhered to.
it's timing of that.
Fair enough.
The timing of how to present it. Everything would get easier if we break through this roadblock of don't wanna create a new law. Once we get past that, far as I could tell, unless we have new people, we may change the name not for seniors, but once we get past that,
And I
I
don't
think,
believe it's a law.
we can
It's
use.
a new tax, it's not a law.
Yeah, it's not a law.
It's a
Yeah.
tax.
Yeah,
It's another
yeah.
tax.
Another fee,
It's a
it's a
fee,
fee, it's
yeah.
truly,
But
you're
it's
right,
not
a
a
fee,
fee.
right, it's a fee, Marion, right.
I mean, this
So,
would've been nothing
so what
10
I'm
years ago.
hearing then, right, and John, that was a great presentation on it, cause you have put a lot of work into this for over a year now, and we thank you for that. My suggestion would be to have John now, with our approval, have a formal meeting with our town manager, Sean Mahalan, if you'd like me to be there with you, John,
Yeah, sure.
as your wing
Yeah.
person, I would be happy to do that.
I have a
And-
question.
yeah.
As far as the crap. As far as the transportation goes, last time, I think it involved cart.
Yeah, carts
Yeah.
is such
So-
an issue now.
Is that the direction this is going in?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
the easy, we can't, from a practical point of view, try to create something out of whole cloth for the town. CART is a viable, scalable operation, okay?
Mm-hmm. Add more
And the other thing
times.
about, I should mention, we're gonna put money into CART, we pay CART, well, for every 37 cents that we put in, we get $1 worth of service, because it's all federal money. I mean, it's a matching, there's two kinds of match money, and one of them is 20% match, and one is 50. But when you put it all together, it averages out that the town pays about 37% of it. And I wouldn't say that the federal money is a bottomless pit, but for our thoughts, it's a bottomless pit. You're only limited right now by the amount of money you can come up for match.
To put into it.
I
It
mean,
has nothing to do with ridership. It's
no,
the
well,
money we put up and then the federal
Well-
money is added.
ridership, after you get things, doesn't have a lot to do with getting the money. Because basically, if you come up with a match, the government will put the money in. Ridership, is an important factor because it makes it more and more efficient in terms of using the cars. Now, one of the things that I think we have talked about last time when we did this, one of the things we want to do with this, and we ought to get an approval maybe on that, is one of the first things we want to do is drop the fee to zero, so people don't have to pay to ride. Now, right now, they're paying,
$2.
and it may go up, but right now they're paying $2 one way, so it's $4 for
Round
a
trip.
round trip. And if you go to the senior center, 5 days a week or 4 days a week, that can add up, okay? But what I like about not dropping the fee is we may find out something we don't want to find out, but and I've done this in business, you give product away for nothing to key customers, and if they don't like it, aren't gonna use it, and you give it away, you have a problem.
Right.
So if we offer free rides on this, my expectation, it's not gonna double, triple, I think the ridership should go up. If it doesn't, then we gotta think about, the scalability, what we're trying to do.
Can CART actually handle the extra
Accommodate.
work, accommodate, thank you. I mean, we've given them, we went from $27,000 a year to over 60 this year, that we are already giving them. And I don't have that many people that come through the senior center through CART, and most of the time they're late. So I don't know that they even have the vehicles or the drivers to accommodate
It's
us
always been
throwing all
issues.
this money at them.
You mentioned, it was $27, where did the $60,000 go?
Justin and I have
It's
talked
in the
about
budget. Yeah, they've increased
about
it.
increasing the budget that we give to CART to over $60,000 a year.
Well, how do let's just say the CART is going through some rough patches. Okay, the best way I can do is I can sit here for an hour and.
Which it
but-
has through the
but
years.
we
Constant.
don't want to throw money at something that's not
Yeah.
going to
But-
give
but
us
I
something
think-
back.
It's
No,
not going, no
let's-
question, it's
yeah.
not going to go away.
Let's bring it back though, because CART is one of the possibilities with
It's-
it.
yeah, just a
Other
possibility.
transportation things. Remember with CART too, it's not just seniors, it also assists any person that needs a
Disabled.
ride.
Yeah.
Disabled, someone that's lost their
It's
driver's license for
capacity,
DWI.
anybody.
But I think, great discussion, but do we wanna give John the approval to move forward with this
I
is the
say
question,
yes.
because there's a lot of avenues here that we were not gonna solve tonight, but do we want to move forward with it, because it will be all of us, our names are gonna be a part of this as the Senior Resource Committee. And John might talk to Sean Mulholland and make the decision that perhaps it's not in the best interest to go forward, but I think we do wanna give him that opportunity to see what next steps would
I
be.
think because of the feedback we got from the senior expo, where transportation
Right.
was one of the top
It's a tough
concerns.
thing, yeah.
And the master plan.
I'd love to see the
Yeah.
specifics of the master plan
New
on
Hampshire's
that
spending-
subject.
Yeah.
I think it's at I think they're 50th in the amount of money they spend on public transportation. I mean, until about 2 or 3 years ago, the state didn't put in a dime for operations. It was, nothing until.
So do you have to have a motion for that?
So
or-
need a
I would,
motion?
let's make a motion, who would like to,
I'll
I
make
make
the
the
motion.
motion that we, offer John the opportunity to pursue this and, talk to Sean Mulholland, who will have more information and experience with it.
I'll second.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Well, you can't make the motion.
No, I
somebody-
know,
Yeah.
did you make the motion? Who
I-
made the
I
motion?
will make the motion.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
Thank
Lori
you.
seconds.
Yeah, Lori, thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, perfect. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? Because I don't wanna rush us.
What is the final resolution on Boston Post game? You're gonna ask for an extension or not ask for an extension?
I am going to go to Sean,
Okay.
and I think we're in agreement that we think well, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna talk to Sean, and based on his experience and
And then
wisdom.
let us know.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Kirsten, they have more experience, because we were looking at it kind of the same way, but then I do also agree that
I know,
we wanna
it's
give
hard.
everyone the opportunity, and I
If you
do
don't,
agree.
they don't know about it, but then.
Right, 'cause we.
It's not a
yeah.
college scholarship.
Exactly. And with that, I'd like a motion to close our meeting, and I can't thank you, all for being,